Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please remain standing for the invocation. And I now call upon the President of the Executive of UTT Student Guild, Mr. Kamal Hunt, to say the prayer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let's pray. O Supreme One, origin of all being, we thank you for giving us another day as we gather here to celebrate UTT's presentation of graduates 2017 ceremony. Give us a keen understanding of the importance of the role that graduates of UTT, the National University, have in the development of our communities and Trinidad and Tobago by extension. Give us faith, courage, and wisdom to fulfill our purpose and promise as students and graduates of UTT. Show us how to effectively serve you so that all of our education, knowledge, and skills may find true fulfillment as we learn to do your will. May we ever be aware that in everything that we do, that knowledge comes from learning and wisdom comes from you. Thank you, O Supreme One. Let's now bow our heads in a moment of silence for those members of our UTT family who have passed. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated at this time. We now have the recorded safety briefing.
At UTT, we have a duty of care to our guests, students, and staff in maintaining a safe, smoke-free campus environment. In this regard, we have a few announcements aimed at ensuring your safety at our facility. Please be guided by the following. In the event of an emergency, you will be notified verbally. Any emergency which requires an evacuation from the pavilion, you will be guided to the appropriate muster point. The main muster point at the campus is located north of the main building, which is the grassy area opposite the guard booth on entrance. Your evacuation route is as follows. Exit the pavilion using exits either to the left or right of the building. Once outside, head north to muster point 1, which is located at the grassy area opposite the guard booth on entrance. You will be required to remain at the muster point until the all clear is given by UTT personnel or fire officials. Washrooms are located at the building to the back of the pavilion with appropriate signage. Portable water coolers are located in the pavilion. A health and wellness room is available at the building to the back of the pavilion should the need for first aid attention arises. We do hope you have a pleasant and safe stay at our campus. Thank you.
His Excellency, Anthony Thomas Aquinas Carmona, ORTTSC, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Chancellor of the University of Trinidad and Tobago.
The Honorable Chief Justice of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Justice Ivor Archie, ORTT.
The Honorable Anthony Garcia, Minister of Education.
Mr. Shumari Hector, Assemblyman, Assistant Secretary of Community Development, Enterprise Development and Labor in the Tobago House of Assembly, and, very important, former President of UTT's Executive Student Guild, Mr. Shumari Hector.
Professor Kenneth S. Julian, Emeritus, TC, Chairman of the Board of Governors of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, and other members of the Board of Governors of UTT.
Members of the Diplomatic Corps.
Mr. Aldwin Lee Kwai, Honorary Doctor of Energy.
Family members of the late Mr. Alwyn Roberts, Lord Kitchener, Honorary Doctor of Arts.
Professor Sarim Al-Zubaidi, President of the University of Trinidad and Tobago.
Heads of tertiary institutions.
Professor Festus Adoyobo, Vice Provost, Postgraduate Studies and Research.
Dr. Rohani Maraj, Vice Provost, Undergraduate Studies.
Mr. Philip Robinson, Registrar of the University of Trinidad and Tobago.
Orator, Dr. Hazel Ann Gibbs de Pisa.
Orator, Mr. Richard Peer.
Senior academic and corporate staff of the University of Trinidad and Tobago.
Members of the Student Guild and other students of the University of Trinidad and Tobago.
Mr. Kern Teasdale, valedictorian.
Graduates of 2017.
Specially invited guests.
Family members and friends.
Members of the media.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is the second day of the graduation ceremonies 2017 of the University of Trinidad and Tobago.
I now invite His Excellency Anthony Thomas Aquinas Carmona, ORTT SC, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Chancellor of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, to declare the graduation ceremony open. Your Excellency.
As Chancellor of the University, I declare the ceremony open for the conferment of certificates, diplomas, and degrees by the authority of the Academic Council and the Board of Governors.
Thank you, Chancellor, for the official start of today's proceedings. And now it is my pleasure to invite the Chairman of the Board of Governors of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, Professor Kenneth S. Julian, Emeritus, TC, to welcome this gathering. Chairman, I now invite you to address us with some words of welcome.
Your Excellency, Honorable Chief Justice, Assemblyman Hector, Assistant Secretary of Community Development, Tobago House of Assembly, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mr. Orrin Likwai, Honorary Doctor of Energy, family members of the late Mr. Orrin Roberts, Lord Kitchener, better known, Professor Sarim Al-Zubaidi, President of UTT, heads of tertiary educations, Professor Festus Adoyobo, Vice Provost, Postgraduate Studies, Dr. Rohani Maharaj, Vice Provost, Undergraduate Studies, Mr. Philip Robertson, Registrar, UTT, orators, senior academic and corporate staff of UTT, members of the Student Guild and other students of UTT, Mr. Kern Teasdale, graduates of 2017, specially invited guests, family members and friends, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Today marks the second occasion in which we as a community of scholars associated with friends and family meet to celebrate a major occasion, the moving up in our community another ladder of our several students today who will be receiving several awards. I take great pleasure in welcoming you to the University of Trinidad and Tobago on this, our 2017 graduate ceremony. This ceremony, an important event in the calendar of the university, recognizes and celebrates the successful completion of our graduate students here at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. I also take this opportunity to extend congratulations on behalf of the UTT Board of Governors and the UTT community as a whole of what can be only described as a monumental celebration of academic achievement. I've used the word the university community very deliberately because the university has this great significance in any society. It brings together a community of scholars at whatever level, different levels. Community of scholars in pursuit of scholarship. Traditionally, many universities, in accepting that mandate to pursue scholarship, the end all is scholarship, breaking new barriers in knowledge, in techniques, in technology, and at the same time, as it were, training and educating new students. In a country like ours, however, a university has another mandate. We must be part of the overall development process of the country. And UTT in its mandate recognizes that completely. We clearly identify our programs. All our programs, without exception, must have enough dimension to allow it to claim that these programs will be contributing to the national development of Trinidad and Tobago. We may take that for granted, but if you were to look at universities throughout the world, you'll find that the majority of them, yes, are preoccupied, concerned, drive the pursuit of scholarship. But many of them pursue the idea of scholarship in its own right, breaking down certain barriers of knowledge and technique. In a country like ours, however, we have to do something more. We have to make sure that we are aligned with national objectives. And this is what UTT is all about. We must make sure that whatever the national objectives are, we make a significant contribution to the achievement of that by producing graduates like yourself. And if you look at our programs, every single program that UTT offers has a clear objective that allows graduates like yourself to participate in the national development effort. Our research, our outreach programs, that is the prime objective. How can we make Trinidad and Tobago a better place? And that is the UTT mandate, as it were, which we fully subscribe to. Not far away from this pavilion, and if you walk across, you'll see it, in the courtyard of the O'Mara campus, a sculpture presents a simple representation of the spirit of education. The question is sometimes arisen, which has arisen in Trinidad and Tobago, why a university? We've managed all these years without a university. Has it added? Will it add? Will it contribute to a future development? And to some extent, that simple sculpture represents the spirit of education. The sculpture, a gift to the university from our friends in Venezuela, is called Clase al Aire Libre. And it depicts a young man sitting at the feet of a teacher, and that teacher on a bench with a book at hand, sharing knowledge with the young man. And it's as simple as that. And regardless of how sophisticated we become, we keep that picture in mind. That's why it sits just outside our main building. A teacher, a book, a bench, open air, and students. And that is what we're supposed to be about. Like that young man, or your time at the university would have been a period during which you have benefited from the wealth of knowledge and experience of your instructors and professors. The faculty would have guided, questioned, and been challenged, perhaps even cajoled you during your learning to ensure that you could arrive at today's milestone. So while this graduation is an accomplishment which you can celebrate, and we celebrate with you, and justly reflect with pride, and I'm sure your parents and your family here feel very proud today, it is also a time of celebration and pride for all of those who contributed to your journey, and particularly for the university as you proceeded resplendent in your graduation gowns of burgundy, blue, green, red, and black. And that's a point that I want to emphasize. We're very lucky in Trinidad and Tobago, where tertiary education is effectively accessible to all that reach certain performance in their studies. We don't have to worry unduly about the source of funds to make sure our sons or daughters, their family members, etc., obtain the opportunity. The opportunity, that's what the emphasis word, to enter into the role of tertiary education. And it is a privilege that is not probably fully recognized when you compare the cost of going to university, internationally recognized university as we are, the cost that of so doing elsewhere, that message comes across very, very loudly. I'm certain you would have overcome many obstacles because we depend on your work, your energy as well, along the way. But with dedication, and particularly with persistence, you've been able to successfully complete your program of study, culminating in today's ceremony, which we will be celebrating with you. And whether that program was for a period of 1 year or 4 years, you are now better positioned to contribute in a positive way to your family, your community, and your country. I now challenge you, because perhaps at no time in history since independence has Trinidad and Tobago needed the vibrancy, the energy, creative thinking of young people as it does now. Our country is in the midst of serious economic and social challenges, and it's only with hard work, determination, and a sense of community and national pride that we will be able to address these very serious issues. This is in fact the mandate that was set out for UTT when in 2003 government took the important step of initiating planning for a national university, national with a capital N. The goal was to provide nationals with alternative economic opportunities for achieving quality at tertiary level education in areas which would, and I have to emphasize that, in areas which would support national development. Left to us academics in a university, and this is probably true of most universities, funded by the state or funded by private sector, we'll have nothing better than, to use a Trinidad phrase, to do our own thing. If we want to study the stars, we don't have to worry whether the study of the stars will affect national development. We do it because it's in the pursuit of knowledge, it's in the pursuit of scholarly activities, and academics tend to want to break barriers of knowledge, not necessarily related to the development process. The model and intent that was adopted here, UTT, was similar to that in Singapore, where massive investment in education allowed that country with limited natural resources to emerge as a regional and international powerhouse, which it continues to be. In the 13 years since its establishment, UTT has pursued its mandate, graduating more than 12,000 students. Many being, and this is very important, many being the first generation in the family to hold a tertiary level education. However, we are still a relatively young institution, and being so closely tied to the nation's fabric, while beneficial in certain aspects, creates its own unique dangers. As such, it would be remiss to me if I did not address what has been a front-page story for many days, that of UTT's sustainability. Will we be here next year, the year after, 10 years from now? Graduates and guests, most of, if not all of you, would have seen the recent headlines and news stories concerning the future of UTT, the National University. I would like to say to you today that UTT serves a national purpose, and its scope would always be looked at within a national context. While financial constraints are affecting the country as a whole, rest assured that the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago is doing all within its power to ensure that access is granted to all nationals seeking to further the tertiary studies at UTT. Indeed, this fact was only recently echoed by the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, at a recent ceremony. His goal tertiary education access must remain a national priority. I'm sure that many of you may have siblings, friends, and other loved ones still studying at UTT. Or you may be working at the university yourselves and have loved ones who work there. I give you the assurance that every effort is being made to ensure that the National University, capital N, capital U, successfully navigates this difficult period in a manner that will allow it to emerge stronger and better positioned to press ahead with a shared vision of quality tertiary education for the growth and development of Trinidad and Tobago's human capital. Mindful of this long-term role of UTT, planning for the institution continues. Chief among those will be the commissioning of the signature campus at Tamina, not too far from here. This campus will be an example of modernity, and students who will receive their programs at the UTT Tamina campus, as we now call it, will do so in an ambience that will richly promote scholarly achievement and a student life, while placing great emphasis on maximizing further development of the university's research agenda. When we speak about development, I must mention the fact that there have been significant investments made by the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago into all persons pursuing studies at the tertiary level. As graduates, you have directly tapped into the government investment by accessing GATE, and even with recent changes to that program, you are still beneficiaries of a sizable financial investment. It is my hope that you are now in a unique position to contribute to nation building and making your own investment back into society. An English professor, Herbert Spencer, once said, "The great aim of education is not knowledge, but action." I take this opportunity to challenge you to act towards changing society for the better. You can act using a ripple effect that may have positive, long-reaping rewards for Trinidad and Tobago. Be fearless and understand your role as trail blazers. All 1,700 of you, yesterday we had our first ceremony, became part of the UTT graduating class of 2017. Continue to be pioneers and practitioners in divergent fields. Trinidad still has opportunities in several fields, which just requires creativity, basic training, and interest. I name a few of these: maritime, fashion, animation. These are areas in embryonic stage that would lend easily to our graduates being creative and trying to expand those areas and make them an important part of the diversification of our economy. In closing, I would like to reflect back to the imagery of that sculpture in the courtyard, of the elder passing his knowledge and experience to the younger. As I stand before you today, it is with an immense sense of pride and renewed hope that I pay tribute to all of you, because there is no greater accomplishment than a master seeing an apprentice exceed the master's capability. It is my privilege to witness this academic celebration and again say congratulations to all of UTT graduates of 2017. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Kenneth S. Julian, Emeritus, TC, Chairman of the Board of Governors of the University of Trinidad and Tobago. And Professor, thank you so much for sharing with the gathering, reminding them of UTT's mandate, a mandate scholarship aligned with national objectives. So, graduates, today it's about celebrating your achievements, celebrating your certification. Tomorrow it will be about service to the nation. Once again, thank you, Professor Kenneth Julian. It gives me great pleasure to now call on Dr. Marian Watson to deliver citations for those persons who are being honored by the University of Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Marian Watson.
Good afternoon. Mr. Aldwin Leakwai. Mr. Aldwin Leakwai is one of the most qualified inspector and failure analysts in mechanical and electrical systems in Trinidad and Tobago and the region due to his vast knowledge in the field of engineering. Mr. Leakwai graduated with a BSc in mechanical engineering from London University in 1955 and spent 2 years as an engineering graduate training with the Central Electricity Generating Board of the UK. Whilst in Britain, he also trained in manufacturing at the Falcon Works of Brush Engineering in Loughborough, England. Upon his return to Trinidad in 1958, he started as a shift charge engineer at the Port of Spain Power Station. He was also the resident engineer and superintendent at the Penal Power Station and was assistant resident engineer with Priest, Cardew, and Ryder on the construction of the Port of Spain B Power Station. As the superintendent of the Port of Spain Power Station, he was charged with the responsibility for managing all aspects of operations, maintenance, and training until 1970, when he left to form his own company, Inspection Services Company Limited. Mr. Leakwai's extensive knowledge and experience has allowed him to serve on several state organizations and professional committees. These include Chairman of the National Training Board of Trinidad and Tobago, Deputy Chairman of the Port Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, and member of the Board of Engineering of Trinidad and Tobago. He has also served as Deputy Chairman of the Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission and had the distinct honor of being the first chairman of the Youth Training and Employment Partnership Program Limited. His distinguished career has also created numerous opportunities for him to be both an educator and mentor, as he has always been involved in training technicians and engineers locally and across the Caribbean. Mr. Leakwai holds the prestigious title of European Engineer and is a chartered engineer and fellow of the Institution of Mechanical Engineers, fellow of the Institution of Electrical Engineers, now the IET, and the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. He is also a registered engineer in Trinidad and Tobago and a fellow, past president, and founding member of the Association of Professional Engineers of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Leakwai is one of the few engineers in the world who has attained the grade of fellow in both the IMechE and the IEE. The University of Trinidad and Tobago is pleased to confer the title of Honorary Doctor of Energy to Mr. Aldwin Leakwai. I now invite the Chancellor and the President of the University of Trinidad and Tobago to present the Honorary Doctor of Energy Award to Mr. Aldwin Leakwai. And now on to our second honorary graduate. Mr. Frank Lukin can be described as one of this country's most knowledgeable and experienced individuals in the local energy sector. With strong negotiation skills and a keen insight, Mr. Lukin has helped steer Trinidad and Tobago to a gas-based economy with the transition of the country's dependence from oil to natural gas. A native of the Claxton Bay area in South Trinidad, Mr. Lookin attained his secondary education at Presentation College, San Fernando. In 1964, he was awarded a government development scholarship where he obtained his professional degree in geophysical engineering from the Colorado School of Mines. Thereafter, he attended Pennsylvania State University and completed a Master of Engineering in Mineral Engineering Management. After graduating, he returned to Trinidad in 1970, where he was employed with the Ministry of Petroleum and Mines as a petroleum engineer. He remained there for 20 years, during which time he held various positions in the Technical and Energy Planning Division, with his final position as Chief Technical Officer. Subsequently, he moved on to the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago as the Manager of Corporate Planning and later as the Vice President of Technical Operations and Business Development. His illustrious energy career culminated with his position as President at NGC in 1996, a position he held for 12 years until his retirement. It is at the helm of this organization that Mr. Lookin played a major role in the negotiation of the purchase of natural gas and sales contracts that has significantly benefited the country. An energy guru within his own right, Mr. Lookin was instrumental in a number of energy projects that helped to move the country forward. The University of Trinidad and Tobago is pleased to confer the title of Honorary Doctor of Energy to Mr. Frank Lookin. Mr. Lookin is unable to be here today, but has sent this message, which I will now read on his behalf. Chancellor, Your Excellency Anthony Thomas Aquinas Carmona, Chairman of the Board of Governors, Professor Kenneth X. Julian, all other protocols observed, graduating class of 2017, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, the timing of my vacation with family coincided with this ceremony, and therefore I am not available to receive this honorary degree in person. My sincerest apologies to the university. I am grateful to the University of Trinidad and Tobago to be granted an honorary doctorate of energy. I am indeed highly appreciative of this honor and recognition, notwithstanding that the pioneers and leaders in the field of energy have not been publicly recognized as widely as in other fields of endeavor in Trinidad and Tobago. Energy is critical to life. However, in Trinidad and Tobago, as a net energy exporter, the energy industry is critical to the livelihood and prosperity of Trinidad and Tobago. Throughout the history of energy developments in Trinidad, we had new oil and gas discoveries after the older mature fields had passed their peak production. Such was the case when the first significant offshore discovery in the Gulf of Paria, the Soldado fields in 1953, with the well High Seas 1. Then oil production peaked in February 1968 with the new field oil discoveries in Guayaguayari, East Trinidad. Following a steep decline rate, there was a second peak production rate of 242,000 barrels of oil per day in February 1978, when oil production from East Coast oil fields such as Teak, Saman, and Pui, based on the discovery well OPR-2 in 1968. In addition to oil production, there were multiple gas field discoveries in the East Coast, which formed the initial basis of the current gas industry in Trinidad and Tobago. Peak production of natural gas was achieved in 2010, with production reaching 2.4 billion cubic feet per day. However, similar to oil production from solution gas drive reservoirs, gas production declined at about 15% per year, and plateau rate would only be achieved if there was a continuous investment in new field development. Today, gas production has been stabilized, but at a lower than peak production rate. What does the future hold for Trinidad and Tobago? Is it in the development of technologies for renewable energy, solar and wind, or to re-examine the existing energy resource base? This is where the students of the University of Trinidad and Tobago will come to the fore. In Trinidad and Tobago, the average recovery factor in existing oil reservoirs is in the order of 15%. What is needed are the skills, creativity, and entrepreneurship to be applied in the recovery of additional oil resources. The challenge is to be able to produce oil from these mature fields under more stringent environmental constraints and current economics. In terms of gas production, Trinidad and Tobago has developed gas markets based on LNG, ammonia, and methanol, and these can provide ready markets for gas fields of our neighbors, Venezuela and possibly Grenada. UTT students should demonstrate that unless there can be equitable risk sharing of the economic rent based on existing markets in a cyclical world of energy pricing, gas resources would remain undeveloped. A major challenge in Trinidad and Tobago is the development of a culture of efficient energy use. The most common examples of wastage occur in transportation and air conditioning. This is an opportunity for students of the University of Trinidad and Tobago to rise to the challenge of helping the country to make best use of its energy resources. In closing, I would like to thank the University of Trinidad and Tobago for allowing me an opportunity to identify some challenges in the energy sector for the graduating class of 2017, and for bestowing this honorary degree as a recognition of the 47 years that I have spent in the energy industry. Thank you.
Citation for Mr. Alwyn Roberts, Lord Kitchener. Mr. Alwyn Roberts, the Grand Master Lord Kitchener, a local son of the soil, has contributed immensely to the enhancement and globalization of our national song, Calypso. Born in 1923 in the town of Arima, Lord Kitchener was the son of a blacksmith. With an innate musical ability, he started composing and singing calypsos as a teenager when he joined the roving tent. In 1944, he moved to Port of Spain to become a professional calypsonian, performing in the tents during the season and supporting himself throughout the rest of the year by performing at various engagements. Lord Kitchener quickly rose to fame, becoming one of the best calypsonians in the country within a couple of years of his debut. Through a successful career spanning more than 6 decades, Lord Kitchener won the coveted road match title on 10 occasions, a feat that has not been repeated by any other artist to date. He was also a former Calypso monarch and managed a Calypso tent, the Calypso Review, for over 30 years. As a musical and lyrical genius, he has penned and composed over 500 calypsos on themes that include politics, social commentary, humor, and double entendre. Some of his well-known compositions include Mama This Is Mass, My Pussin', and Rainorama. He was also known as a talented jazz musician, and this was reflected in compositions such as 12-Bar Joan, You're Dancing Too Close, Kitsch, Bebop, Calypso, and Rock and Roll Me. In addition to his timeless Calypso pieces, Lord Kitchener's work was also highly influential in steering the musical direction of the Panorama competition. His songs were immensely popular with steel bands due to the catchy melodies and harmonic complexity of his compositions. Over the years, this led to the development of an extremely close allegiance and affinity with Pan and the steel band movement, as he became obsessed with the sound of the steel pan. A true Calypso pioneer and staunch advocate for the retention of the pure form of Calypso, Lord Kitchener strongly objected to the growing popularity of soca music. Hence, it is with a twist of irony that his first attempt at dabbling in soca music with Sugar Boom Boom would become one of his most successful singles. Throughout Europe and the eastern and coastal regions of Africa, Lord Kitchener has successfully promoted calypso music. His records became popular in West Africa, and he sang a number of calypsos about the continent. His music has also influenced Nigerian musicians to include some of the art form's musical notations and structure in their genre of music. A world-renowned entertainer and calypsonian, Lord Kitchener has positively contributed to the national psyche and the world at large through his music, calypso music. The University of Trinidad and Tobago is pleased to confer the Honorary Doctor of Arts posthumous to Mr. Alwyn Roberts, Lord Kitchener. I now invite the Chancellor of UTT and the President of the University to present the Honorary Doctor of Arts Award posthumously to Miss Kewena Roberts, daughter of the late Alwyn Roberts, Lord Kitchener.
Climbing up a mountain, high above the sea, find myself approaching high killer bee. Climbing up a mountain, high above the sea, find myself disturbing high killer bee. It bites me on the chin, bite me on the hand. The noise that they making, it sound like steel pan. Because I'm in love for music, I refuse to run. The beast was a sympathetic, you stick me for fun. Stand up in the bushes, leaning on a tree, watching all the bruises the beast put on me. I say this is tragic, is this wrong or right? For the sake of music, to take all its might. Well, this was my problem, should I stay or go? Something tell me leave them, something tell me no. When I finally decided I'm going to remain, the beast was insane, I shook it, they lashed me again. Them kill a big night, like never put them kill a big sting, never put them kill a big trap. Them kill a big chuck, never put them kill a big chuck, never put all over me head. But I find the pain, but I run. Mama, you are start to dance, I must see, cause it was his head. Show getting too tough. Where my luck is going, I think I had enough. As I'm getting ready to clear out the place, up came the queen bee, buzzing round my feet. She started buccaneering, music in swing. Suddenly she flew in and gave me a sting. Before I could fall apart, like instead I dead. Behold, I leave behind just come and rashes my head, and then he killed me dead. But then kill a beat, fight never but then kill a beat, sting never but then kill a beat, tread, but then kill a beat, chuck never but then kill a beat, chuck never but all over me head. Well, I feel the pain, but I got it by hand. Mama, you are start to dance. They wanted to chastise, kill a beast, but run like flies. And I run, 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 run.
Thank you, APA Vocal Ensemble and your director and arranger for that exciting rendition. Yes, it was almost as if he was here again. Let me also thank Dr. Watson and Mr. Pierre for reading the citations. And thank you, Chancellor and President and Registrar, for presenting. And let's hear some congratulations for our honorees once more. And now we move to the award of certificates, diplomas, and undergraduate degrees. And I have the pleasure of calling on the President, Professor Sarim Al-Zubaidi, to present to the Chancellor those persons who have met the requirements of the University of Trinidad and Tobago to be admitted to certificates, diplomas, and undergraduate degrees. President.
Chancellor, I ask you to admit these candidates from these academic programs having fulfilled the requirements of the university to the certificate, diploma, and undergraduate degrees for which they are presented.
Graduates of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, by the authority vested in me, I admit you to the certificate, diploma, and undergraduate degrees for which you are to be presented and receive you as members of our society.
I now present the graduates for the Certificate in Food Technology. Nisha Sherry Alexander Paul. Sharon Francis Jeffrey. Sharifa Mohammed. Robert Arvin Samaru. For the Certificate in Music Technology, I present Joshua Dane Blackman. Christian Nathaniel Richmond. James Jesse Joseph. Rolly Alain. Christopher Claude Diaz. Vanessa Nicole Ferreri. Keston Shaquille Jacob. Ryan Wilson. Mario Stefan Hardial. Christian Akil Wright. Akina Vasaya Jones. Taj Bila Balthazar. Claren Renee Selkat. Sarik Chanreka Ramasa. Eran Ramasa. Anthony Nicholas Tam Glasgow. Jelani Olakojo. Kenyatta Aaron Lewis. Aldine Christy Wolf. Jonathan Emil Grant. Torian Taylor. Joel Levy-Fevek. Godwin Tate. Zachary Aaron Dilemma. For the certificate in Indian classical music, Sangeet Prathama, I present Shalini Lilamani Gopal. Parasram Ramgoli. For the certificate in Pan and Music Literacy, I present Zalika Afia Mills-Guerra. Tamira Nikisha Pereira. Isa Samuel. Carsonel Luke Williams. For the certificate in process operations, I present Khalil Mohammed. Amrit Rupnarain. Riyad Sadiq Khan. This is the end of the certificate graduates. For the Artist Diploma in Music Performance, I present Emilia Aliang. Listra Pauline Alvarez. Judah Barrett. Janice Renee Boyd. Shalom Brown. Jonathan Joseph Charles. Nika Francis. Alexis Hope. Hamon Faisal Mitchell. Odin David Stewart. Denisha Rishi Riley. Naam Roland. For the Diploma in Agriculture, I present Richard Anthony Belkan. Kamisha Cape. Crystal Esther Etienne Sandy. Anissa Jackson. Akil Jara. Eden Natalia John. Darius Carlton Ligerwood. Anjani Anissa Rambox. Justin Craig Ramjack. Ezra Charles Weston. For the Diploma in Animal Health, Production, and Veterinary Public Health, I present Gabriela Elizabeth Bagu. Chanel Candice Bissoon. Stefan Michael Bob. Shamilia Abiola Dixon. Joel Duncan. Anne-Marie Henry. Vanessa Paul. Jasmine Ramratan. Lauren Amy Sinath. Hannah Marie Samantha Singh. For the Diploma in Animation Studies, I present Matthew Manuel Ornelas. Don Richard Evelyn. Jeremiah Aiden Jatan Singh. Brandon Oliver Phillip. Craig Nathan Salina. Alan Wong. Renelle Williams. For the Diploma in Food Technology, I present Faithe Esther Best. Nicole J.L. Burns. Simone Camille Keynes. Chevelle Cujo. Ayoka Cummings. Kamencita Dewberry. Linda Dwaraka. Miva Amelia Eastman. Kezia Tamar Evangelist. Colleen Jordan Wright. Janessa Joseph. And Kosi Elijah Lacroix. Siobhan Moffat. Zaria Asia Noel. Rachel Leah Rampasad. For the Diploma in Forestry, I present Keyshawn Steve Lyons. Maxine Shalom Howell Paul. For the National Engineering Technician Diploma in Chemical Engineering, I present Ariel Allert. Carissa Narissa Guman. Osmaili Mariah Leon Flores. Glacier Faith Ramkisoon. Teshant Manu. Maria Crystal Olivier. Hijazi Nuaj Salem. Annalisa Sundar. Patricia Taylor. For the National Engineering Technician Diploma in Civil Engineering, I present Miranda Amira Khan. Celeste Lavande. Maria London. Shanice Narissa Paul. Stephen Jade Ramada. Kavish Rambaran. Amar Samlal. Brandon Rodell Singh. For the National Engineering Technician Diploma in Electrical Electronic Engineering, I present Brandon Richard Berkeley. Samuel Buchan. Christian Raldion Codrington.
At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we pause to acknowledge the arrival of the Minister of Education, Honorable Anthony Garcia. Please stand. You may be seated. Thank you.
Mikhail Nicola Dean. Rashad Anthony Deokising. Elijah Akil Harris. Devon Diana Joseph. Darvin Sandy. Fariz Quincy Hira. Emil Akim Hossain. Ronaldo Videsh Lautan. Simone Dana Ramdas. Mervyn Suku. Van Vaihu Edel Fortune. Kevin Gopal. Justin Modest. Stephen Michael Mohammed. Josiah Nicholas. Jeremy Pollard. Neil Ramsawak. Terence Rodriguez. Kevin Christopher Ruplal. Rajiv Redison Sankar. Rajesh Sipasad. Karish Josiah Smart. Tishard Hamilton. For the National Engineering Technician Diploma in Instrumentation Engineering, I present Alan Andrew Bihari. Kevon Arvinder Rupchan. Innocent Lewis. Armando Clive Rampasad. Joel Daniel Samuel. Onella Sijatan. Siobhan Overton Telesford. For the National Engineering Technician Diploma in Mechanical Engineering, I present Alindo Zachariah Woodhouse. Andre Armstrong. Akins Lord. Amit Maniram. John Matthew Rampasad. Camille Karashma Sipasad. Clyde Lukanath Ramnarain. Devanan Mangra. Dylan Linus Bala. Dylan Clark. Fossey Fondanwi Mabantenku Ajeni. Jorel Daniel Nicholas. Jerome Ali Jr. Junior John Ramcharan. Keston Wells. Kyle Glenford Norrie. Lonnie Leans Roberts. Nicole Savannah Price. Nicholas Sham Mohammed. Ryan Ali. Ronald Anton Mano. Ricardo Elder. Rihan Sudama. Saeed Ali. Tyler Rampasad Singh. Shane Nicholas Lahori. Tessa Marsha Francis. Tahir Anthony Pinder. For the National Engineering Technician Diploma in Petroleum Engineering, I present Arinzi Nkosi Chance. Chandani Chicory. Damian Mohammed. Nikita Kayleen Williams. Ravi Khan. Ria Ricarda Eccles. Sanjeev Maharaj. Stefan Timon Atkinson. Thalia Robinson. And this is the end of the diploma. I now present the graduates for the Bachelor of Applied Science in Civil Engineering Systems with Construction Engineering and Management. Sarah Chandini Babulal Prasad. Nicholas Vidal Bola. Samuel Elijah Dennis. Benjamin Hunt. Nicholas Vishnu Kunkun. Naivedita Maharaj Dandradi. Ero Israel Manwa. Simone Alyssa Mohammed. Gulshanlal Mongu. Dwayne Karim Nunez. Riaz Khalil Ramkisoon. Dana Sukemani. Ranjiv Randy Sundar Singh. For the Bachelor of Applied Science in Civil Engineering Systems with Environmental Engineering, I present Mervyn B. Alexander. Francois Mario Garib, sorry. Alicia Carrian Noel. Padmini Siomara Ramlal. Julian Richardson. for the Bachelor of Applied Science in Civil Engineering Systems with Structural Engineering, I present Kester Bramble. Avery Javon Brooks. Dwayne Brooks. Richard Karaf Danraj. Jarrell Dominic Duncan. Rabindranath Gokul. Stefan Adesh Jaikaran. Videsh Jaimangal Singh. Carlisle Jeanville. Oral Solomon Jones. Dean Richard Samuel. Renelle Lovell. Kasha Anna Katrina Monsegi. Kevin Otis Filbert. Anton Michael Nelson. Ronaldo Emmanuel Padilla. Ganesh Prasad. Alexander Sagan Rampasad. Kareem Dwayne Warwood. Maurice Young. For the Bachelor of Applied Science in Manufacturing and Design Engineering, I present Christopher Anthony Daniel Aman. Kevon Randon Ashton. Anjani Hira. Joel Lamont Charles. Samuel Josiah London. Derissa Solange Maturin. Sean Stephen Norang. Micah Christopher O'Neill. Hemant Hemendra Ramkisud. Hayden Angelo Rudolfo. For the Bachelor of Applied Science in Petroleum Engineering, I present Shaquille Antonio Carlos. Mark Shivesh Bipath. Celeste Lydia Benny. Rebecca Brown. Fishad Bujawan. Tina Marielda Coolman. Dylan Nathan Danpaul. Leanne Allison Dogan Mason. Kyron Chevon Emmanuel. Gabrielle Therese Ferreira. Natalie Fonrose. Dylan Solomon Fraser. David Anthony Garraway. Mohammed Khan. Monique Colleen Lafoucade. Delisa Lizama. Philip Shivanan Madre. Nasif Mohammed. Leanne Neves. Nathan Stephen Amro. Sean Sanjay Pulchan. Jabari Kofi Kwashi. Julie Ramdeen. Annalie Rampasad. Ryan Joseph Reek. Shanice April Rondon. Vanita Vanna Simbu. For the Bachelor of Applied Science in Petroleum Engineering, Kern Teasdale summa cum laude. Omari Waldron. For the Bachelor of Applied Science in Process Engineering, I present Aziza Brown. Kervel Anika Kamabash. Elizabeth Casey Jurad Singh. Brittany Naleen Ford. Nicole Pamela George. Raleen Holasi. Shada Janki Prasad. Anita Jagun. Current Aisha Lewis. Cherise Tanisha Lewis. Kim Kalita Mora. Annalisa Murray. Ashti Nanan Singh. Kyle Ramlogan. Dave Ramnarine. Varun Ramraj. Aaron Francis Romani. Chris Siram. Colin Skinner. Kavi Stewart. Alicia Latoya Villaruel. Diana Binder Willie. For the Bachelor of Applied Science in Utilities Engineering Electrical option, I present Riyad Shail Ali. Adrian Dowden. Stephen Troy George. Kyron Isaiah Gibson. Nazim Khan. Echo La Rosa. Suresh Alex Passad. Jabari Kevin Seaforth. Lyndon Lawson Sundar. Andrew Trim. For the Bachelor of Applied Science in Utilities Engineering Mechanical option, I present Mohammed Ali. Nishal Budai. Jared Davis. Carvel de Gale. Kari Gajada. Jimmy Johnson. Wesley Julian. Amanda Khan. Jamil Laroche. Sureka Candice Lalu. Adriana Mutu. Elijah Samuel Murray. Darren Sunarain Nirgun. Deandra Chanel Raghunath. Roderick Ariston Ramcharita. Brandon Sean Ramlal. Onila Ramsaran. Gayatri Patel Ramsumir. Nigel Russell Sanchez. Nigel Stanley. Rajiv Dylan Tilak Singh. Chakizi Josiah Robertson. Keon Vernon Small. Jarrell Marcus Webb. Leon Wickham. For the Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts, I present Anisha Andrea Hossain. Annette Thompson. For the Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts with specialization in acting, I present Tyler Obodario Peloy. Joshua Phillips. Levi Roger Rodriguez. For the Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts with specialization in dance, I present Chelsea Christine Bailey. Monique Antonio Bob McIntosh. Melinda Ophelia Etienne. Alyssa Joseph. Kellyanne Elizabeth Lajeunesse. Emily McDonald. Avril Judith Noel. Elizabeth Khadija St. John. For the Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts with specialization in music, I present Brian Nicholas Alvarez. Seidel Damon Cyrus. Helen Francis. Jamal Richard Gibbs. Leandra Rashon Head. Evina Lydia Jack. Dylan Jacob. Colleen Gabriella James. Tamiko Inisha Moore. Akil Daniel Patrick. Luis Colin Rogers. Desri Sicharan. Dion Ayana Smith. Emil Winchester. For the Bachelor of Fine Arts in the Performing Arts with specialization in theater design and production, I present Amrish Ramdeo Gangadeen. Ronald George. Mikhail Shahid Mohammed. Daniela Olivia Walcott. For the Bachelor of Science in Animal Science and Technology, I present Akash Bijay. Also, Julian Clark. Rielin Kezia Paul. For the Bachelor of Science in Crop Science and Technology, I present Craig Jagoop. Alvin Videsh Sugrim. For the Bachelor of Science in Food Science and Technology with specialization in nutrition and dietetics, I present Donna Margaret Phillip. For the Master of Engineering in Petroleum Engineering, I present Neil Terdat Balkaran. Makeda Janine Brooms. Elizabeth Sarah Edwards. Mark Anthony Julian. Anand Paras Ramdial. Hardior Ramsaran. Tashel Sharon Tobias. Tisha Tennille Wellington. For the Master of Engineering in Process Engineering, I present Kezia Clark. Samantha Das Ganpat. Tanya Anisha Marson. Natasha Passad. Ria Rippler. Rondell Kyle Toby. And this is the end of the undergraduates.
Thank you very much, Chancellor, President and Registrar, and Dr. Ruhani Maraj. It is an evening of celebration. So for all those graduates of the certificate, diploma, and undergraduate degrees, hip hip! Let's bring it up, bring it up. Hip, hip. Many years of hard work and discipline resulting in their celebration today. And we move on in the program with the APA Vocal Ensemble. They will render in song. Earlier you heard B's melody. You will now hear King Austin's Progress, arranged by Dr. Roger Henry, Associate Professor, UTT's Academy for Performing Arts. Under his superb musical direction, enjoy King Austin's Progress. Put your hands together and welcome them.
I've already seen
And we thank you, and the soloist, and the arranger, and the accompanist. Let's hear it for them once more. And now we progress to higher realms within this ceremony. We move now to the award of postgraduate degrees. And I have the pleasure of inviting the President, Professor Sarim Al-Zubaidi, to present to the Chancellor those persons who have met the requirements of the University of Trinidad and Tobago and are to be admitted to their respective postgraduate degrees. Mr. President.
Chancellor, I ask you to admit these candidates from these academic programs having fulfilled the requirements of the university to the master's and doctorate degrees for which they are presented.
Graduates of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, by the authority vested in me, I admit you to the master's and doctoral degrees for which you are to be presented, and receive you as graduate members of our great society.
For the Master of Arts in Carnival Studies, Cindy Asher Alain. Marcus Clement Batiste. Natalia Maria Dopwell Gomez. Ayana Shalima Garcia. Michelle Anika Henry. Nyambi Ayana Holder. Shanice Leah James. Keisha Oriel Matas. Jevan Ochoa. Cynthia B. Parks Bruce. Damian Phillip. Mauricia Simone Ransom. Seville Isabel Regis. Janelle Avion Sanchez. Nadani Singh Ali. Kerwin Kurt Turnbull. Moving on now to the Master of Science in Petroleum Engineering, Sunday Ozazi Edobo. Janine Gajada. Mikhail Kyle Lewis. Miguel Logan. Andrea Payne. Kival Darvesh Rambaran. Switching now to the Master of Science in Reservoir Engineering, Caron Nigel Allain. Switching to the Master of Science in Innovation, Manufacturing Management and Entrepreneurship, Malaika Tiana Baker Douglas. Subhaschan Banke. Vanessa Tamala Banke. Yokima Bethelme. Miss Sandra Kerr. Tiffany Misty Charles. Nadia Jardine. Afdal Kudrath Ali. Tisha Phillips. Christopher Anthony Nathan. Charlotte Ramnath. Kurt Alexander Roberts. Anil Ramkalawan. Al Phil Salandi. Chanel Jamie Smith. Ashaki Williams. And now we come to the end of the master's programs. And now we move on to the PhD awardees for this evening. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy in Manufacturing Engineering, Dr. Jorel Bisnath, and I present his supervisor, Professor Prakash Prasad. Moving on to our second PhD of the night for the Doctor of Philosophy in Manufacturing Engineering, Atma Maraj, again supervised by Professor Prakash Prasad. For the Doctor of Philosophy, again in Manufacturing Engineering, Rabindranath Ramsarup, supervised by Professor Prakash Prasad. for the fourth and final Doctor of Philosophy in Manufacturing Engineering tonight, Mr. Anil Ramkalawan, supervised by Professor Prakash Prasad. And last but definitely not least, the Doctor of Philosophy in Carnival Studies, Cyril Anthony Collier, supervised by Professor Hollis Liverpool, otherwise known as the Mighty Chalk Dust.
Thank you very much, Chancellor, President, Registrar, and Dr. Marian Watson. And of course, you know, it's time for us to say hip hip hooray, because these people, they were presented with master's and doctoral degrees. They went higher and higher. Hip hip! Hooray! Let's celebrate our postgraduate students this evening who have gone beyond and have had the wonderful achievement, and now they go out and continue to serve. At this time, it is my great pleasure to invite all graduating students to join the UTT Alumni Association. The objectives of the UTT Alumni Association are to promote interaction among alumni members and between alumni and UTT, encourage education, research, and commercialization of innovative ideas, keep members informed on the progress of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, mentor undergraduate, postgraduate students through co-op training or similar work-related experiences, provide professional development training opportunities for its members, recognize alumni achievement. You may join the UTT Alumni Association by going to the UTT website at www.u.tt. At this time, I invite Mr. Rondell Toby to lead the graduates in the Alumni Pledge. Mr. Rondell Toby.
Pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to say a pleasant good afternoon to the Chancellor, the Minister of Education, and also the President of the University of Trinidad and Tobago. I would like to make mention to say a next pleasant good afternoon to the lecturers, the professors, and the instructors of the University of Trinidad and Tobago. And lastly, but not least, a pleasant good afternoon to the graduates of the class of 2017. At this point in time, I will ask the class of 2017 to stand, please, the graduates, and recite the alumni oath with me. As the alumni of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, we solemnly swear to uphold the honorable traditions of our university, imbued by the spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship, which is at the center of UTT's mission. We will endure to lend creativity and passion to all that we undertake. As graduates of the university, we also commit ourselves to the highest standards of service to our community and country. We will further strive to earn our place among UTT's alumni who, by their devotion to these ideals, have brought recognition and financial support, and we will encourage others to attend to our alma mater and thus to contribute to the perpetuation of the necessary and noble work of UTT. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Toby. Congratulations to all of the graduates, and we look forward to seeing you in the alumni. You may be seated. And now we are at a special point in this function. I have the honor of calling to the podium graduate of the Bachelor of Science in Petroleum Engineering, graduating summa cum laude, Mr. Kern Teasdale, to do the valedictory address.
Yeah, that height should be pretty okay. His Excellency, Anthony Thomas Aquinas, Commoner, ORTT, SC, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and Chancellor of the UTT. the Honorable Anthony Garcia, Minister of Education, the Honorable Dr. Lavelle Francis, Minister of the State and Ministry of Education, Mr. Shamari Hector, Assemblyman, Assistant Secretary of Community Development, Enterprise Development and Labor in the Tobago House of Assembly, and former President of UTT Executive Student Guild. Professor Kenneth S. Julian, Emeritus, TC. You all hear me now? Okay. Professor Kenneth S. Julian, Emeritus, TC, Chairman of Chairman of the Board of Governors, UTT, and other members of the Board of Governors, UTT. Members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mr. Aldwin Likwai, Honorary Doctor of Energy. Family members of the late Mr. Alden Roberts, Lord Kitchener, Honorary Doctorate of Arts. Professor Sharim Al-Zubaidi, President, UTT. Heads of tertiary institutions, Professor Festus Adodo Yobo, Vice Provost, Postgraduate Studies and Research. Dr. Rahani Maharaj, Vice Provost, Graduate Studies. Mr. Philip Robinson, Registrar UTT. Orators. Senior academic and corporate staff of UTT. Members of Student Guild and other students of UTT. Graduates of 2017. Specially invited guests, family members and friends, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. A pleasant good afternoon. I'm both elated and honored that I have been entrusted with delivering this valedictorian speech this evening. I've placed a considerable amount of time and effort into what I have to say to you this evening. In fact, the task was so strenuous I fell asleep 3 times while adjusting this speech, all in an effort to ensure that the speech was equal to the task. I do hope, however, that this speech doesn't have the same sleep effect on you. So before that happens, let me invoke some vibes. My fellow graduates, put your hands together and give yourself a lusty round of applause for accomplishing this milestone thus far. Graduates, what does it mean to be inside the walls of this graduation pavilion this evening? Of course, to different people, it means different things. To some of my good friends, it's a moment that they have been waiting for, the formal end of schooling. To others, it's the first of many graduations to come. However, I'm sure that we can agree that to be here in this room at this very moment took a lot of sacrifice. With extremely long days followed by sleepless nights, we toiled endlessly, with some of us beating the books every day throughout the entire semester, and while others crammed a semester's work in one night. Jody will tell us a lot about that, you know? She's a master crammer. Graduates, I'm sure that I can speak on your behalf when I say that the journey from the first day of class to the last day of final exam was nothing short of a roller coaster ride. There were moments of exhilarating highs and heart-wrenching lows. Just when we thought that the ride was over, we were faced with more unexpected twists and turns that left us reeling once again as we tried to catch our breaths. I remember my first presentation during my diploma. Nervously, I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. When I compare that to my bachelor's final presentation, the contrast is so evident. In my final presentation, there I was, knowledgeable in so many new ways that I felt half an hour wasn't enough. For me, the pursuit of tertiary education has really been a life-changing journey. I can speak for all of us with utmost certainty when I say that we have all grown and matured substantially since our first days upon entering the university. For those who know me, they know I love my sports. So I make this analogy. For this day is like scoring in the 25th minute of the World Cup final to give my team a 1-0 lead. Undoubtedly, this goal is to be celebrated. However, we shall not be contented because we have 65 minutes to play and it's game on. Yes, we are ahead. We know we have our certificates, diplomas, bachelors, masters, and now doctorates. but the competition is stiff as we are competing with other graduates from different universities as they are eager to equalize and capitalize on opportunities to score. Therefore, I urge each one of us to push ahead and score more goals rather than to sit back and defend the slim lead. As we sit here side by side, regardless of our different qualifications and programs, we are all on the same team. That is Team UTT. So I encourage you all to work together for the benefit of ourselves, our peers, our national university, and most importantly, our beloved country of Trinidad and Tobago. Now that we are all on the same team, I would like to share with you some techniques that have served me well along the way. The first technique I employed, I borrowed from Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is a favorite, by the way. The first habit I like to share is begin with the end in mind. Having an end goal works well in keeping you in check, and so prevents you from going with the flow when the flow is in the wrong direction. I vividly remember at the beginning of each semester, I would do a GPA projection in my portal, in which I would simulate grade A's in each of my courses. By continuously focusing on my projections and having that end in mind, I was able to visualize my success and defy the odds on many occasions. This concept overflows nicely into the second technique, which is positive thinking. Thought is that initial creative energy. It's the root of all man's creations. Now, stay with me now. All that we see began with thought, followed by words, which are thoughts expressed, followed by actions, which are thoughts in motion. Essentially, the thought sponsors both actions and words. Through this understanding, I've placed the most emphasis not on what I say or do, rather on what I think. Henry Ford captured it fully when he said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Even the spiritual texts make mention of this, where in the Bhagavad Gita it states, the mind is an enemy for those who don't control it. Hence, if we reflect, we can see that the many obstacles that we face actually stem from our own self-doubt and negative thinking. With this said, a lot of us may have thought positively throughout the years and haven't achieved the desired results. So what's missing? It's belief. But before we dive into that, let's take a moment to recognize all family members, friends, lecturers, support staff who work tirelessly, going above and beyond the call of duty and never stop believing in us, even when we didn't believe in ourselves. Come on, let's put it together. Yeah, it's a long speech, so I have to keep you all awake somehow, you know? Now let's look into this last technique. Belief makes the impossible possible. Belief makes thoughts manifest. Belief is that thought behind the thought. For all thought is harmless without belief, and a man becomes what he believes himself to be. Therefore, I urge you all to dream big. For what the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. I will repeat that. For what the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. The words of the late Napoleon Hill. You see, a lot of us sell ourselves short when we don't believe in ourselves. Now here's one of the most empowering short stories I've heard lately. The author is unknown, but the message is of utmost importance. The story goes, as my friend was passing the elephants, he suddenly stopped, confused by the fact that these huge creatures were being held by only a small rope tied to their front leg. No chains, no cages. It was obvious that these elephants could at any time break away from the ropes that they were tied to, but for some reason they did not. My friend saw a trainer nearby and asked why these powerful, massive animals just stood there and made no attempt to get away. Well, he said, when they were very young and much smaller, we used the same size of rope to tie them, and at that age, it was enough to hold them. As they grew up, they were conditioned to believe that they cannot break away. They believe the rope can still hold them, so they never try to break free. My friend was amazed. These animals could break free from their bonds at any moment, but because they believed they couldn't, they were stuck right there where they were. Like elephants, how many of us go through life hanging on to the belief that we cannot do something simply because we have failed at it once before? My fellow graduates, today we celebrate our success and our achievements. And I stand before you. I can only imagine too well the many sacrifices that some of us had made to be in the pavilion graduating this evening. Sacrifices of all sorts, some that can never be fully measured nor properly quantified. Each of us here has overcome many obstacles or have navigated the rough seas which have made our story even more unique and interesting. In the end, we made the right choice. We are here today not by chance, rather we are here today because we persevered, we were consistent. And so we endured to the end. Besides, who wants to hear about the millionaire's son that became a millionaire after taking over his father's multi-million-dollar business? It's just a boring story. Therefore, believe me when I say that it's the scars that make us beautiful. The journey is the true reward. As I reflect, I'm so happy that my journey made me who I am. We have come a long way, yet we have so far to go. We are merely 1-0 up with all to play for. Graduates of the National University, we are the future leaders. Look around you. Somewhere in our midst are the civil engineers that's going to build us that bridge to Tobago. Somewhere in our midst are the persons that's going to manufacture balata juice and export it to the world. You know? Who knows? This lady in front here may be my boss in the next few years. The utility engineers are in our midst, and they are determined to bring renewable energy to the forefront, in turn making our lives much harder for us, the petroleum engineers. We thank you for that, you know. Seriously though, I would like you all to continue finding and employing cleaner sources of energy as the lives of the future generations hang hopelessly in the balance. Indeed, it is a time of change, a time where reassessments and reevaluations have to be done into the way we operate as we move forward. Forecasters are seeing oil prices as being lower for longer, and job opportunities in the energy sector are few and further between. As plants are being shut down and staff is being retrenched, there's an air of doom and gloom that surrounds us. So where's the light at the end of the tunnel, one may ask? Now I stand before you and say, we are the light. The light emanates within us, and if we work together as a team, the light will intensify, and as a result of the synergistic forces, giving us the capacity to make our way through any dark times. We have the power to make the change, not just in this country, but in the world altogether. I urge you to put on your dancing shoes for opportunity dances with those already on the dance floor, so be ready, for the time may be upon us faster than you think. With a heart of gratitude, always be thankful for what you have achieved, savoring the sweet taste of each milestone. With that said, for those in the audience who have been asleep, time to wake up. Life is what you make it. For those of you who don't have a job as yet, be positive, for things are working in the background for you, but it's just beyond your sights for now. Therefore, I urge you to be patient and have faith. Opportunities will come its way. Just be ready to dance. To the entrepreneurs and those of you who are already employed, learn to adapt quickly in this ever-changing environment and keep moving from strength to strength. Always be willing to stretch a hand to your teammate and pull them up. To stay in the lead, we must synergize, where 1 + 1 is no longer 2. Rather, 1 + 1 yields 3 and 4. That's the power of synergy. My fellow graduates, With this marginal lead, let us move upward and onward together to make Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension the world, a better place. All of this stands for nothing if we do not use what we have learned for the betterment of our fellow man. All of this is nothing. In closing, I thank God for making all of this possible. Graduates of 2017, join me as I say thank you once again to all the parents, guardians, lecturers, friends, and family for their unwavering support. Thank you all for making my stay at UTT a memorable and worthwhile experience. And finally, I thank the audience for listening and making your presence felt this evening. Come on, celebrate with us once again. Congratulations to all the graduates, and thank you. You enjoy your evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kern Teasdale. He successfully described the rigor of the journey that brought you here to this day of celebration. Once again, Mr. Kern Teasdale, congratulations. Thank you. APA Vocal Ensemble, where are you? You are next. And they will be rendering a song, May the Road Rise. And this is composed by the very accomplished Dr. Roger Henry, Associate Professor, UTT's Academy for the Performing Arts. Kindly welcome them.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back, the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hands.
Yes, let us hear it for the APA Vocal Ensemble. And indeed, graduates, may the road rise to meet you. So congratulations are in order for all of the graduates this evening. Give yourselves a round of applause for your achievement. Every beginning has an ending. And so we are coming to the end of this evening's ceremony. But note that every exit is another entrance. So as you exit these halls of learning, you enter the roads of service and growth. I've been asked to make an announcement. The Executive Student Guild invites graduates and their guests to repair to the courtyard and canteen area, where the Guild is hosting a graduation cocktail reception for you. And you will also have a live performance by Shal Marshall. And now, I have the honor of inviting His Excellency President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Anthony Thomas Aquinas Carmona, ORTT SC, Chancellor of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, to declare closed the final day of graduation exercises of the University of Trinidad and Tobago for the year 2017. Your Excellency.
In my capacity as Chancellor of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, I think it would be remiss of me if, in some small measure, I didn't dialogue with you all on things that I feel are pertinent to your lives, to our society, and the Caribbean region. Professor Julian, at the opening or at the onset of this graduation ceremony, spoke about the pursuit of scholarship. And it is something that I have grown to accept as being something that, as young graduates, we are still coming to terms with the tenets of scholarship. Because I have been to many, many conferences, symposia, lecture series in Trinidad and Tobago. And there is, in fact, a missing demographic. I'm not saying you wouldn't find sputterings, but there is a missing demographic. Where are the hundreds and hundreds of graduates that we are producing every year? Why haven't they come to this hall to listen to a erudite speaker on economics, or on biochemistry, or on any area of competence? Because, ladies and gentlemen, graduates of 2017, the pursuit of scholarship does not end when you leave the portals of this fine institution. It continues. And this is why, in more ways than one, when Mr. Teasdale gave you what I would consider to be a thought-provoking antidote on the story of the elephant, tied to a piece of rope that he can break. And the fact of the matter, he's unable to do so because his mind is enslaved. It speaks to the need for us to engage in critical thinking. Critical thinking which, in my humble estimation, is not being actualized by the initiatives that are to be found in the Caribbean region, including Trinidad and Tobago. Because critical thinking is about transformation. It is about challenging the status quo. It is about saying no when there is a need to say no, and say yes when there is a need to say yes, grounded in an assessment of the factual scenario that is presented before you at all times. Whether that factual scenario comes in the form of newspaper articles, whether it comes in the form of advertisements, whether it comes in the form of information on the internet. Because, ladies and gentlemen, a war is on. There is a war that is out to thief your mind. And you have to be, as a student of this wonderful institution, be very wary of that war. There is a war to say, for example, who you think you are to be leaving work at 4 o'clock when everybody leaving at 3 o'clock. What are you trying to do? You're trying to show we up? That is part of the war, the lack of productivity. There is a war that, in fact, in the face of wrong, because you're aligned or connected to an association, a political party, or some institution where there is an apparent wrong, there is a war for you to believe that wrong is right. And that is why it is very important that you engage in critical thinking. If we are to be successful in producing the kind of citizenry that we require, the patriots that we demand of you, because at the end of the day, you are the change that we seek. And you are the ones that will not make a difference, but make the difference in this society of ours. Because I can tell you, you probably were wondering what he was telling all these students coming up, shaking their hands. Well, let me give you a little hint of what I was telling some of them. Those, in fact, who got diplomas and those who got certificates. I said, now is the time to go and do your degree. And those, in fact, for example, who got a degree, I said, now is the time to go and do your master's. And those who, in fact, got their master's, I told them, I said, hey, man, I want a PhD. Because we are in the business of progress, not stagnation. And don't let anyone make you feel that because we are in a recession, that there needs to be a recession in education. In augmenting your talents and your capacities to be transformational in this society of ours. Because at the end of the day, there is a crisis, again, that is taking place where world leaders are telling us climate change, for example, does not exist. And sometimes, in fact, this type of aberrant philosophy is finding credence in governments, in institutions, where there appears sometimes to be an indifference to the rigors of climate change and its ill effects. Let me bring to you one harsh reality. I recall hearing that erudite ambassador of Antigua and Barbuda, who represented, in fact, Barbuda and Antigua at the Paris Climate Change Agreement. And she, in fact, lectured to us heads of state last year. And she said, in 50 years' time, if we in the Caribbean do not take stock and make a difference in terms of our lifestyles and our indifference to climate change, 240 odd tourist destinations will be underwater in 50 years' time. can you imagine the economic impact it has? Because anyone who makes you feel and believe that climate change is not impacting on economics, on politics, and on health is living in a fool's paradise. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why I am very, very heartened by that mandate given to you by your valedictorian, Mr. Teasdale, with regard to the need for climate change initiatives in the form of renewable energy, in the form of alternative energy, and in the form of sustainable energy. Because at the end of the day, oil and gas, they're going to run out. I don't know why, for example, I can tell you since the days I was in fact a prosecutor in the office of the DPP, I spoke to individuals, authorities in successive governments. I said, why do we have a skewed oil policy? And they said, why? What is that? What is skewed about it? I said, ours is a philosophy of total extraction and not a philosophy of conservation. In the same way, for example, in the context of critical thinking, yes, drill for oil, drill for gas. But why sell it at $40? Why not sit on it and wait? Ban your belly, so that down the road, in fact, we can engage in the productive aspects of supply and demand. I am no economist, but sometimes I wonder if this country of ours will require basic fundamental parlor economics. Parlor economics. You ever see a parlor bus? A parlor never busts, because it operates on the basis of supply and demand, on what is needed, what is required. It operates on a basis of selling lots of things in a small way and with small profit margins. But apart from that, there is an imperative that I would like you all to continue in your daily lives, in your jobs, in your places of work, because I think it is something that is required in the Caribbean region and in the world. And I'm referring to something, in fact, I recall when I gave my last parliamentary address. It feels like so long ago, because they haven't been having any ceremonial openings. Yes. It is becoming an anachronism that the president addresses the parliament. And I can tell you, in fact, I told the parliament, members of the parliament, that in fact that what ought to be done, throw away any particular national policy you have and adopt fully the 17 sustainable goals of the United Nations as in fact your national policy. Because this is why I want each of you all to appreciate and understand the importance of those 17 United Nations sustainable goals in the context of making this world a better and a greater place. I am not here to damper your spirits, because it is indeed a great, wonderful moment. But I will not, in fact, put blinkers on your eyes, because if I were, I would be irresponsible. When, for example, the professor came with 4 postgraduate doctoral candidates, you know what he did? He brought them up to his level in the hope that they would go beyond his level. And isn't that, in fact, what the wise sage is all about? So at the end of the day, I hope as you go out in life and you go out in the world, you make a difference. And make a difference not in the context of only your personal life, because I have said it time and time again, you know, we always have this old talk. It begins with the man in the mirror and the man and the woman in the mirror. Well, let me be honest with you here. I have found through my interaction with the young people of Trinidad and Tobago that the young people in Trinidad and Tobago generally are pretty okay. The problem is in fact, the person next to them do not have a mirror to look into. And that is where you as individuals can be someone else's mirror by the way you conduct yourselves, by the compassion you display to each other, by your sense of selfless service to this country. That is how you can become somebody's mirror whose mirror is clouded or which doesn't exist. And you are special. You are special. And this institution is special. Because I sat back and I looked at the areas of discipline where diplomas and certificates were granted. And I said, look at that. People, in fact, are given a sense of self-esteem. You have persons, excellent mechanics, who in fact were not certified because in fact they didn't pass the exams and they fell through the cracks. And what is happening? Through a system of empowerment, educational empowerment, UTT is now giving the mechanic who would have stayed in a shop all his life, not only to become a mechanic, but to move up from being a mechanic and become an engineer. And that is a wonderful initiative. And I want you all to thank someone here tonight because he is responsible in the main for creating this environment of empowerment. And I refer to, in fact, Professor Julian, who's for being, in fact, that intellectual stalwart who felt the need for educational connectivity to what is required in our society at large. So, Professor, I want to thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, my dear graduates of 2017, you are special. And you can make, as I said, the difference that we require in our society. Our cup overfloweth. Remember, there are far more good people than bad. Sometimes it might sound like a religious message, but sometimes we need to be reminded of it. There are far more happy people than cynics. We need to be reminded of that. And we need most of all to remember that whenever you go on that internet, as you all do sometimes, whether you're on Facebook, do not become a keyboard gangster. Shooting at people's self-esteem, shooting at people's self-worth, shooting at people's sense of decency and humanity, shooting at people's sense of compassion. Because let me tell you something. When you display compassion, mercy, forgiveness, those are not weaknesses, they are strengths. No one wants an educated monster in a working environment. So nurture those great, wonderful values that you have received from all these wonderful professors, these people of passion who want you to be the best that you can be. It is with this regard that I just want to say something that I said yesterday. I don't necessarily like to repeat myself, but I can tell you, for example, whatever endeavor you engage in, do it with passion. And when in fact you do it with passion, you will become great at it. And if you continue to do great things in that job with the same passion, I can assure you, you will become exceptional at it. I therefore wish to sincerely congratulate the newly graduated members of our society on your achievement. And I now declare this wonderful, sacred, sacrosanct ceremony of empowerment closed. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Your Excellency Anthony Thomas Aquinas Carmona, ORTTSC, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Chancellor of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, thank you very much for your words of inspiration. Thank you for reminding the graduates of their powerful role, because they are indeed the change that we seek. Once again, congratulations to all the graduates. Good luck as you move from the position of certification to a position of service and production. Round of applause to you all. Honored guests, at this time, I invite you to stand and remain in your places until the Chancellor's procession, graduates and academic staff have retired. Pleasant good night to all.